Hello, everyone. Welcome wherever you are. Good morning, good evening, good night, no matter where you are. And thank you for this amazing audience. I think we've got over 50 folks. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed Teams Tech Fest, and I hope to make it a little bit more enjoyable with this session. So the session today is Power Apps integration with Microsoft Teams. My name is Reza Dorrani. I'm a business apps MVP. I am a Power Platform practice technical lead. Yeah, that's a long title. At my organization, Catapult Systems. I am also a Power Apps and Power Automate community super user. For folks who are connected to the community, 2 thumbs up. If you're not, I will post the link to the community forums later on. Make sure you join the community. Not to become a super user, but to come in there and either help folks or maybe ask your own questions. I am a very avid YouTuber. I blog about the Power Platform almost every week. So if anyone's interested in checking out my YouTube channel, that's the link. And typically folks share their email addresses. I am more active on Twitter than my email. So if you would like to get connected with me, I will post the same details again at the end of the session. And that's more or less about me. So the session today is Power Apps integration with Microsoft Teams. And first thing to understand is, of course, everybody knows what Teams is, what Power Platform is, but just to set the baseline again, Microsoft Teams is your one-stop shop for teamwork in Microsoft 365. It's the hub for teamwork. You can chat, you can call, you can have meetings. We are having the meeting right now on Microsoft Teams. You can integrate various M365 apps. You can customize, you can extend, and all of this with enterprise-grade security, compliance, and manageability. That's the power of Microsoft Teams. And the goal here is that every aspect of your work at the end of the day is going to lead you to Microsoft Teams. You want to share a file, you want to do collaboration, you want to chat about a meeting, all of the other applications. Think about this. Planner has an app for Teams. SharePoint is there. You can bring your SharePoint sites right here. You can link them right here. You can extremely powerful. Of course, I'm not trying to sell Microsoft Teams here. We are in Teams Tech Fest. On the other side of the spectrum in M365, we have the Power Platform, which is the one low-code platform that spans across the entire suite of products in M365 and beyond. Now, this is what the Power Platform looks like today. We have Power BI to visualize our data. We have Power Apps, which allows us to act on our data, basically perform CRUD operations on our data. Reza, what's CRUD operations? Create, read, update, and delete. We have Power Automate to create our automation scenarios around our business solutions. And the newest member to the family, well, it's been almost now a year since it's there. Power Virtual Agents, which allows you to build intelligent chatbots. These are the 4 main pillars of the Power Platform. However, underneath the covers, we have other options that we can choose from. Like any good platform, we have a very powerful data layer that Power Platform exposes. It's called CDS, which is the Common Data Service. It has a lot of powerful capabilities, which I will be discussing shortly. On the other side, we have data connectors, and data connectors allow you to connect to your data sources or services, no matter where they live, Office 365, third party, or on premises through the data gateway. And of course, we also have AI Builder, which is the low-code artificial intelligence platform that is baked into the platform, which under the covers leverages Azure Cognitive Services. It's just, they've just made it pretty simple for you to quickly build your models, which is your AI models without having any specific coding skills or data science skills. And you're good to go for using your models, both in your apps or in your flows. So this is what the Power Platform looks like today. So we know what Teams is, and we know what the Power Platform can do for us. And all of this is low code, no code. Now, would it not be amazing if we could leverage this platform to build solutions in Microsoft Teams? And what kind of solutions? Maybe I would like to build an app for my team. Maybe I would like to automate a scenario around that app. Maybe I would like to build a chatbot around it. And in future, maybe I would like to even visualize all of that data. And all of these capabilities are available for you today to leverage. However, what about the data layer that the Power Platform exposes, which is CDS? What if I want to use this data layer as well with Microsoft Teams? And the answer to all of this is the announcement that Microsoft made at Ignite, introducing Project Oakdale. Project Oakdale is the code name for a solution that Microsoft has put out for Microsoft Teams. This Project Oakdale is the built-in low-code data platform for Microsoft Teams. It basically is CDS. They have called it Project Oakdale. And this lives and breathes only and only within your Microsoft team. Every team, I can get a Project Oakdale data platform set up for me that I can leverage within the context of that Microsoft team. And not just that, there is also support for you, of course, to build apps, to build flows, and to build chatbots, all within the context of your Microsoft team. Now, the data platform that Project Oakdale exposes, it leverages a subset of the capabilities of the data platform that Power Platform leverages, which is CDS. So do you get the full spectrum of CDS in Project Oakdale? No. There are limitations, and I have a slide to talk about that as well. Now, CDS, the power of CDS is in its relational data storage and rich data types that it provides. Many other data sources of choice, examples, I'll talk about a few common ones. Excel, that's not a relational database. SharePoint is not a relational database. Reza, I can create lookup columns on SharePoint. Yeah, you can, but there is a limit on how many lookup columns you can create. There are a lot of challenges in SharePoint as your data grows. SharePoint folks would quickly relate to things like that. So CDS is truly a relational data storage system, and it provides you rich data types that you can leverage. What are these rich data types? We will look at them in the form of a live demo. Now the biggest slide. All of this included in your existing Office licenses. So if you own a standard Office license, typically for you to use CDS, in this case, Project Oakdale, the data platform, when you use CDS, you need to pay a premium license for that. Out here in Project Oakdale, you do not need any premium license. Your standard Office license will give you access to a CDS Lite database that is available only and only within Microsoft Teams. At the same time, in Power Apps, if you interact with that database associated with your team within the context of that team, you do not need any premium licensing. Typically, when Power Apps talks to CDS, you need a premium license. In this case, you don't. Same goes for Power Automate. You do not need any premium licensing. Same goes for Power Virtual Agents. As long as you build your Power Virtual Agent within the context of the team and deploy the bot and use the bot within the context of Microsoft Teams, all of these capabilities, the data platform, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agents, all of these capabilities are provided to you with your standard Office licensing. No premium licensing required. So guess what? Now folks who are not playing with CDS because of the license, folks like me, have started looking into it. On the other side, many folks I know who had an issue with chatbots because this required additional licensing. Now things are different. Now, all of these things are available to you today in public preview. Very important to note this. This is in public preview. That means these should not be used in production scenarios because right now it is in preview. And there are certain things that will still show up the premium license feature. For example, if you try and build the bot today, it will pop up and ask you for an additional license. All of these things are going to go away once this solution project Oakdale goes live. And now every team gets a database, which is your data platform, which is Project Oakdale. And at the same time, for anyone who's worked with CDS before, you can create a CDS database in an environment. Each environment can only and only have one CDS instance. On the same lines, each Microsoft team can only have one instance of Project Oakdale. That means at the back end, there is an environment being created for your team. So each team that creates its first app automatically gets the data platform. And you only get one data platform layer for each Microsoft team. And of course, when that happens, you need to control your governance as well. And that is also included as part of Project Oakdale. Continuing on Project Oakdale, so included at no additional cost for Teams customers, basically your Office license covers you for this. The data platform, which is Project Oakdale, the storage capacity is 2 GB. And this is a hard limit. So you have a 2 GB storage capacity or up to 1 million rows, basically, of data in that database that gets created for you within the context of your Microsoft team. If you exceed that limit, you would have to upgrade your database to CDS. So in that case, then you would have to progress or promote your existing data platform layer to CDS and pay the full premium cost if you hit that 2 GB limit. That limit is per team. Please note this, it is per team. It cannot be extended. You cannot buy any additional storage. You straight away have to promote it to the full CDS capability. And that's the next point. Also, the data in the Microsoft team can be shared across multiple apps, flows, and chatbots. So it's not like I have a Microsoft team and I can just build one app and one flow and one chatbot. No, you can build multiple apps. You can have multiple tables in your data source. You can build multiple flows, multiple bots. You have full capabilities to do that. Right now, it supports up to 500 teams. So the first 500 teams who start building apps, it starts creating the environment for that Microsoft team. And once the number 500 is hit, after that, you will not be getting the ability to leverage Project Oakdale. So 500 teams have it. And that's the reason why for large organizations, governing this is going to be a key factor. And once again, I would like to highlight that Project Oakdale is in public preview. Please, please, please note this. It's in public preview. Don't start using this in production. Okay. The next one is actually a live demo, and I plan to go from scratch. So if I make a few mistakes, don't give me a second chance. Okay, so the demo is we're going to look at how we can leverage Project Oakdale for creating apps and flows in Microsoft Teams. So let's head over straight to my browser and let me just switch my screen over. Let me know when you guys can see my screen. I will need one confirmation.
We can.
Perfect. All right, so I am right now within the context of Microsoft Teams, and in Microsoft Teams, we basically go ahead and we start creating teams. In my case, I have a nice team called Community Summit NA. And let's say I go and create a brand new team called from scratch. Let's create a public team. Let's call this Teams Tech Fest, right? I'm going to create this team. And this will go ahead and create a Microsoft team for me within a matter of seconds. And it says nice work. All right. Of course, I can add team members and owners. So I'm going to add James and I will add Sarah, two of my favorite people who I work with. So within a matter of seconds, I have a Microsoft team. I can start conversing, sharing files. I can have a wiki and many, many other things that I can add to this Microsoft team. Fantastic. But what if I want to create my own apps using the low code Power Platform capabilities in this Microsoft team? How do I get started with Project Oakdale basically? So the way you start with this is you go to the 3 ellipses on the left-hand navigation rail, and right here you can search for Power Apps. Now in my case, I already have used this app before. That's the reason why it shows up in my recent apps. So here's Power Apps, and it's got this new shiny looking logo as well. So I will go ahead and pick Power Apps. And once you do this, I already had this app installed. If not, you would be asked to install this app in Microsoft Teams. Now, once you do that, Microsoft is clearly telling you this is in preview. Here is the giveaway. This is preview. Okay. Once you land here, this is the landing page for you for the Microsoft Teams Power Apps app. You're going to love the naming, right? Microsoft Teams Power Apps app. And in this, of course, they give you a sample video. You can build an app in 5 minutes and you can see any recent apps that you have built. As you can see, Reza is very excited with Oakdale. He's already gone ahead and done a lot of other stuff. With this comes 3 really nice templates that you can leverage: employee ideas, inspection, and issue reporting. And if I would like to use these templates directly to build an app, all I have to do is literally just click on this and add it to my team. 2 clicks. It basically is a solution package that gives you the tables, the app, the flows, everything comes through with it. So there are 3 currently available, and there are many more coming in future. And many a times we don't like scrolling down, but trust me, when you scroll down, there are some really good things for you to get started. For example, learn. There are some really, really good links right here which will help you learn getting started with Power Apps for folks who are new to Power Apps. Okay, so I have gone ahead, I've installed the app, Reza, but how do I get started creating an app for my team? Well, it's as easy as this. Right here, there's an option that says create an app. So once I select this, I have the opportunity now to decide for which team do I want to create this app for. In my case, this will list out all the teams where I'm either a member or an owner. In my case, I would like to create my team for my team called Teams TechFest. Too much usage of the word team. And once I do this, all I had to do was literally create an app, select my team, and hit the magic create button. And the moment I do this, what's happening right now is, because this is the first time I am creating an app in the context of this team. This team was just built, what, 2 minutes ago? No one else has created an app here. It's the first time I'm creating an app. Because it's the first time, it is going ahead and setting up your Oakdale environment. So it's creating an environment at the back end for your Microsoft team. And once it does that, there are multiple notifications that go out, as you can see. One, I will receive an email that tells me that your environment is ready for you to start jumping in and building your apps. Two, the Power Apps bot will notify me about my environment being prepared. So it might take a while before things get ready for you. And if that's the case, no problem. Go ahead, take a break, drink some coffee. You will be notified about it. When things are ready, all you have to do is go back to that notification, click on the link, and it will take you straight to the context of your Microsoft team. That's how this works. Now, let's say I go back to the Power Apps app in Microsoft Teams. Now, Home is going to allow you to create an app, of course, but there is also another tab called Build. Build will list out all the Microsoft Teams that have an Oakdale environment created for it. In my case, I started creating the environment for my Teams Tech Fest. So if I click on this, this is my space for my Teams Tech Fest. And right here, I can click on create. So I can start creating my first app. Now, guess what? You will be creating your app directly in the context of Microsoft Teams. You do not have to even leave Microsoft Teams to start building your app. Typically, to start with Power Apps, what do? We go to make.powerapps.com, right? This is where we begin. We go here and we start building apps. In this case, I don't have to leave team. And by the way, this is brand new. This is Microsoft throwing in something at us. Now, the moment it creates the app in the context of Microsoft Teams, the first thing it is asking me is for the name of my app. And let's say I'm trying to build a help center or help desk kind of an application wherein users can come in and create tickets in my system, and those tickets will be routed to my IT department or facilities department, depending upon the type of issue the users are reporting. So I'm going to call this app Help Desk App, and I will save this. So I've just given this app a name right now. Please note everything's happening within the context of Microsoft Teams. You see, I'm still in the Teams interface. Of course, here's the name of my app. I can click right here and rename it if I would. At the same time, let me just try and squeeze this out. At the same time, if I zoom in, you will notice that the home screen is not a blank screen to start with. This screen already has some controls added to it. It has a gallery on the left-hand side. It has a form control on the right-hand side. This is called the hero template or the starter template that Microsoft has provided for you, which you could leverage. Or of course, this is Power Apps. I have full power. I can do whatever I want right here. Now I have created this app, but where is my data? Where is my data? I have not even created anything yet. Where is Oakdale? Where's CDS? Well, it's right here. On the left-hand side, if you notice, it is allowing me to create the table right here within the context of Power Apps in Microsoft Teams. So if I click this, I can start creating tables where in my project Oakdale environment for this Microsoft team. So it's asking me for the name of my table. I'm going to create my table called tickets and I will click create. Now check this out. I just click create and once again, everything, I'll keep stressing on this fact, everything within Teams, I'm not leaving Teams. I can start creating my table on the fly right here. So I have the name of my ticket. So the user can give a title to the ticket, let's say. Maybe I would like the user to add a description. Now I need columns. How do I create columns? This is similar to Excel or SharePoint. I'm going to click on plus. I need to give my column a name. So I'll call this description. And I said rich data types. Remember, rich data types. This is the set of quick data types that I can leverage. Text, email, URL, phone, auto number. Trust me, no other data source will give you this level of data types. And there are many, many more that are hidden. I will show you how to get to them as well. These are just the quick ones that they have provided in this visual editing experience. In my case, I need to create a description column of type text. So I will do that. Then after this, I need a column called ticket ID. When a ticket is generated, I need a ticket ID. And typically we need a field that generates the ID automatically. SharePoint already has that, the ID column, but I need that here. So what do I use? There is a type called auto number. So I can use auto number to generate my ticket IDs. Of course, there are many things you could do here. You could define from which number your ticket ID starts with, what number it can end with, and all that good stuff. I'm just going to click create for now. So I have name, I have description, and I have ticket ID. 3 pieces of information or 3 columns associated with my table called tickets. I'm looking at my notes to make sure that I have all my columns covered right here. Okay. I will also add sort of an approval process around this. So I will create a column called approval status. So every ticket that comes in needs to go through an approval process. And right here we have a column called choice. And I can start defining my choices. So when a new ticket is created, the default will be new. Once my approval process begins, it would be pending. The approver will get 2 options, approved, and they will get another option called rejected. And guess what? There's a little bit of formatting that you could do as well out here, just like SharePoint column formatting for SharePoint folks. So new tickets, maybe they are gray, pending tickets are yellow, approved are green, rejected are red, my choice. I'll click create. And just like that, I got the choice column created for me. So I've got the name, I've got the description, I've got the approval status. What about approvers comments? Okay, let's do that. Approvers, let's not put an apostrophe for now. I haven't tried that. I don't want to risk it. Approvers comments, and yeah, I'll keep it as a text field. Okay, I just created my table on the fly in the context of Microsoft Teams. Can I add data right here? Of course you can. This is just like Excel. I can start populating data in this system right away. But let me create one information right here. So maybe I need a new laptop. Of course, your users are not going to go through this, but I just want to show you that you can create data or even copy paste data right here in this Excel-like scenario. Description, Dell laptop needed, ticket ID will be auto-generated, approval status, just for fun, just picking approved, approvers comments was, you got it. Okay, so I just created data on the fly, visually edited my table on the fly. Where is the save button? There is no save button. All you have to do is hit the small looking X icon on the top right. And guess what? This will save my table. Now look at the magic. It will save the table, add it to the data source, and at the same time, the hero template that I was talking about has already come alive. This is a live app right now. If I preview this app, I can actually start interacting with my app. I can start creating new records. I can look at existing records. I can cancel this, go back to my existing record. I can delete that record. I can edit the record. I have the full capabilities of Power Apps, form control, and gallery connected right here. So all those base coding is already done for me in Power Apps. Of course, this is Power Apps, guys. I can go to screens. I have the full capability right here. I can create new screens. I can pick any of these screen templates. Many folks ask me this question, Reza, does Oakdale only work with CDS in the context of Microsoft Teams? Of course not. There is the data type right here. You can go and start connecting to any data source of your choice, SharePoint, Excel, OneDrive. This is Power Apps, guys. You can do anything you want right here in the context of Microsoft Teams. Needless to say, if I connect to a premium connector like, for example, SQL, of course, then the app becomes premium. As long as you're using the standard connectors and as long as you're using the CDS current environment, which is Microsoft Teams, you are good. You do not need any premium licensing. Okay, so I just created tickets. Reza, I would like to create another ticket, another table. Yeah, just go to add data, go to create new table and start creating your second table. I have a table called categories wherein I will define my ticket categories and I will also dynamically define my approvers. Nobody likes their approvers to be static, at least I don't. So I have the name of my category and I would like to define who my approvers are. So I'm going to call this approver and there's a type called email that I can choose from. So I got the name and I got my approver. So right here, my ticket type or ticket category is IT. Any IT tickets go to Reza and any facilities, of course, it's not going to go directly. I have to write some logic to do that and I'll show you how we can easily do that. And I am going to plug this guy in. So right now I have created two rows, IT as my category, facilities as my category. If it is an IT ticket, it gets routed to Reza. If it's a facilities ticket, it goes to Sarah. And I will close this. And just like that, I got my second table also saved. Great. I got this done. Now, how do I relate these two tables together? Remember, CDS is a relational database. What if I want to modify my previous table or any table for that matter? Right here, just go to three ellipses, go to edit your data. This will take me back to that same visual editing experience. Now I need to relate the two tables together. Once again, add a new column. I will call this category column. And the type this time is lookup. So I need to look up to another table, basically create a 1:n relationship with another table. What's my related table? Now this will list out all the system generated tables as well. So don't get confused. This is CDS. Right here at the bottom is my, not at the bottom, I should have my categories table. That's right here. So I am now relating this column to the second table that I created for this team. And if I click on create, just like that, it now creates a relationship between the two tables. And just to prove my point, if I open this, I see IT and categories or facilities. Let's say I pick IT, I close this, done. As easy as that. Okay, great. We got this much working. What next? Of course, in the interest of time, I won't be able to go through the whole spectrum and show hide data cards. So right now, assume I have logic to not show approval status when someone is creating a ticket. You can easily do that in Power Apps. For now, I'm just going to keep it very, very simple. Now, this is my data card right here. So if I select my form control and if I go to the properties of my form control, I don't have that category column here. So I can just go and add that lookup column so the user can fill the category column right here. And let's assume that approver comments and approval status never show up. Assume that never show up. Okay, we can easily hide that by writing logic. I'm just bypassing it to save time. Okay, what else can I do? What else is new right here? Well, one more thing is new. If you look on the left-hand side, we have an object for teams. So you have a living, breathing teams object within the context of Power Apps right here. Now, how do I leverage this and what can I do with this? So let's say in my app, I want to add a label. So I'm going to add a label control right here. And let's say I just place the label right here. And remember, guys, this is Power Apps. So I can go and I have all the properties available. Center align the label, make the text bold, whatever you want. And let's say if this label now, I want to give the team's name right here. Now, if you look on the left-hand side, once again, we have a teams object. So if I directly set the text property of this label to teams dot, look at the different properties that it exposes. It tells you whether I'm viewing it in full screen mode or not. It can give me the theme of the team. It can tell me which channel I am on. It can even give me information about the team where this app is currently running. So I'll say this team dot gives me more information, the ID of the team or the display name of the team. Let's say I pick display name. Now, when I publish this to my team, you will see the name of the team show up right there. Okay, so don't forget this. I have the name of the team that's being displayed right here. And that's it. I have built my app. Now I want to publish this to my Microsoft team. What do? Magic button right here, top right, publish to Teams. Click on this. This will now save your app, publish your app straight to Microsoft Teams. So if I hit next, this will list out my Microsoft team, which was Teams Tech Fest. And just by clicking on the small looking plus icon right here, this app is now available to use as an app in my Microsoft team. And I'm going to close this. Now, the moment I save and close, this is now pushing this app to that team and it's done. Now, if I head to Microsoft Teams and if I go to my team, right here, I have a tab called Help Desk App. And if I select this, that same application will open right here. And first thing I want you to note is this. You see, the name of the team is placed right here, which is Teams Tech Fest. I got that from that Teams object. And this is the full app. I have the full interface right here. I can create new tickets. I can go through the whole spectrum right here. So that's how you can quickly go and build apps and push them out to your Microsoft Teams. All your team members and all your team owners have full power in that Oakdale database. They can make any changes they want. Guest users also get access to it. However, they can only see their own data. This is security by design. So owners and members have full access, whereas your guest users only have access to their own content in the context of this Microsoft team. In future, there is more sophisticated security options coming wherein you can choose and say members can only see their own data or members cannot modify the tables. Those things are coming in future. Now that I have this, how do I get back to that Power App? Now you see, I did not pin it on the left hand navigation rail. So every time I have to go and search for it. One tip here is just pin it. Just right click and pin it so you never lose it from your navigation rail. And all you have to do is just click and get to it. Now, if I would like to see my artifacts that I've created as part of my Microsoft team, all I have to do is go to the Build tab. My team is listed right here, Teams Tech Fest, and I can go to See All. And guys, right here, I have a lot more things that I can do. I can see all the apps that we have built, right? I built 2 apps. The first one by mistake got built. I think I clicked out, but here's my Help Desk app. I can even build chatbots within the context of Microsoft Teams. So a bot that talks to any data as long as that connector is standard for free. Flows. I can even build flows within the context of Microsoft Teams. Tables. This will list out all my tables associated with this Microsoft team. And if you remember, I said there are more ways of creating additional columns. So let's say I go to my tickets list and I would like to create a column. If I go to data type, see the options available here. There are a lot more options for you to choose from. Phone numbers, auto numbers, currency fields, files. You can even store files in CDS. You can even store images. There's an image type. There is a file type, floating point numbers, a lot of good stuff that's available right here for you, which you may not see in that visual editing experience. And how do I get to the visual editing experience? Well, right here is called visual editing. If you select this, this will take you back to that visual editing experience. So this is how you can quickly create your environment within the context of your team, quickly create tables, quickly build apps, and quickly push them out. Literally, it took me, 15 minutes to get this app in my Microsoft team and working. Now, of course, there is no approval happening. There is no process right now. If anyone goes to use the app within the context of Microsoft Teams right now, they can just go and create a new ticket and just save it and nothing's going to happen. Now, let's say I want to create a flow, right? Now, most people, and including me up until last week, I used to recommend this. Go to build, go to your team, go to See All, and start building flows from here. Yeah, you can start building flows here, and guess what? It will actually open flow as well within the context of Teams, which is great if you do not want to leave Teams. But I feel the flow interface is a lot more intuitive and you get a lot more power. So what I am going to do is this. If I go to flow.microsoft.com, top right hand corner, you see we have environments. Remember, every team that has an Oakdale environment set up does have an environment. So my team was called Teams Tech Fest. It takes up to, let's say, I will say around 3 to 4 hours, and you should see that environment show up right here. Now, right now, I don't see it because I just created the team, but just to let you know in future, when you're working with this, you can actually directly come here. So let's say this is one of my teams. Directly come here. And if you want to create flows, just go to solutions. Everything in Oakdale is created in the default solution. So this is a tip for you guys. If you go to the default solution, any flows that you create in Oakdale will be listed right here. So if I go to flow, I think I created a few flows right here. There you go. And you can just click on new and start building your flows in full screen mode with the full capability of flow. Okay, in this case, of course, I just created the team. So let's create the flow right here. So my flow is going to be approval for tickets. Okay, and in my case, I'm going to say when a new record is created in CDS and click create. Why are you picking CDS, Reza? I'm picking CDS because in reality, it is CDS for the Microsoft team. Now it's asking me for the trigger condition. I'll say create whenever a new item is created. Where is this item created? Well, in my tickets list. So let's search for the word tickets. Okay. What's my scope? This is related to security. I'm just going to pick user for now. Now, whenever a ticket is created, this flow will come alive. Okay. Now, next step is when I get the ticket created, I have the category of the ticket, right? The user selects a category, which is a lookup. Now I want the approver's name dynamically. How do I get that? Well, let's do this. Let's use get a record. From where? From my table. Which table? I have another table called category. And what's the ID of that category? Well, if I search for the lookup column, which is category from my trigger, which is my tickets list, I have the category value right here. So with this one call, I can get the record from my category table purely because this is a relational database. They are both related to each other. Fantastic. I got my approver with this. I got all the details about my ticket with this action. What next? Well, first thing is when the process begins, I want to set, so let's do update a record. I want to set the ticket status to pending. So I will say update a record. And what do you want to update? Well, I want to update my tickets. Which ticket would you like to update? I would like to update my tickets ID, which is the unique ID that I get from the trigger. And what would you like to update? I would like to update my beautiful approval status column right here to pending. So the user knows that the approval process has started. Perfect. What's next, Reza? Well, typically we do start and wait for an approval. If I do that right now, guys, this is a big takeaway for today. If I do that right now, it will fail. It will take at least up to 4 hours before the approval action begins. Why does this happen? Whenever you create your first approval action in a brand new environment, this is not just related to Teams, this is in general around the Power Platform. When you create an approval action for the first time in an environment, it takes up to 4 hours for all the entities of the approvals to set up. So if I use that right now, I need 4 hours and I don't think Sharon would give me 4 hours. So what I will do instead of that, I'll do something else. We'll use Microsoft Teams. Now, I don't know how many here have used adaptive cards. This is something really new and something really, really cool. Okay. So I will use the Microsoft Teams connector. And one of the new features, which is in preview, if you've never used this, highly recommend to use it. It's preview. Post your own adaptive card as the flow bot to a user and wait for a response. Okay. And this will now go ahead and connect to Microsoft Teams and done. Now it's asking me, who do you want to post this adaptive card to? Well, I want to post it to my approver. And who is my approver? I can dynamically get it from my category table. So right here. Perfect. What's my message? Now, message is where you design that adaptive card. Of course, we don't have time to do that. So Reza has already done that. So I'm just going to copy and paste my logic right here. Now it's asking me for the title. My title is going to be the name of the ticket that the user created, and the description is going to be the description of the ticket that the user entered. And once the approver responds, I'm going to say thank you, and the card will update itself. And I don't like this long name, so I'm just going to short form this to card. So basically what this is going to do is when the flow comes to this point, it's going to send a message in Teams to the approver in a nice looking format. You're going to see it when I run this, if everything goes through well. And not just that, okay, it will go through the process and then it will go through the process and then go ahead and take the decision of that approver. Okay, clear? Now, what's next? Once the decision is taken, my next step is going to be to check what's the outcome, right? Just like we do for approvals, right? We check the outcome. I'm going to do the same thing right here. I will add a condition, and my condition is going to be a small expression. And the expression says, go and grab the response of the approver based on the team's card. And if the response is approved, I would like to go ahead and do something. Now, what would you like to do, Reza? Well, I would like to update the record. So rather than reinventing the wheel, I am going to take advantage of copy paste to save time, because Sharon said, Reza, you only have 45 minutes. So right here, I'm going to update my ticket. If it is approved, my approval status will go to approved. Of course, I can put in the approver's comments and all that good stuff. Right now, I'm just trying to save time. And on the other side, if it is rejected, I will say that the status is rejected, and that's it. My flow is ready. Let's go ahead and save this. Once I save it, my flow is set, and flow is listening. Flow is listening to what? Flow is listening to when a record is created in my tickets list. The moment the record is created, the flow should start if everything's good. Okay, now what do we do? Well, let's go back to Teams. And this time, let's go to my help desk app again. And let's create a new record. Approval status would be new, of course. My ticket is going to be, I'm having an issue with my phone. So I have a phone issue. What's the description? Phone not working. Help me, please. Category is facilities. Now, if you remember, for facilities, my approver was Sarah. I had dynamically defined it. So let's go ahead and save this. Now, the moment I do this, I just created a brand new ticket in my table, in my Oakdale environment, right within the context of Microsoft Teams. If I would like to see where that flow is in the process, I can go back to apps. It's a little bit of a long route. Go to apps, go to build, go select your team, go to see all. It's a lot of clicks. Go to flows. Here's my flow. Select the flow, edit the flow, go back on the flow. Well, click on the flow. How do I view this? You see, details. I got to go to details. I'm learning too, guys. And as you can see, the flow is running, right? The flow just started because I created a ticket. And when the flow started, let's see where the flow is in the process. So the flow started, it got the record, and it updated the record. So once again, let's open Teams in a separate browser window because I don't want to lose the run of the flow. So once again, in the context of Teams, I head over to my app. Let's see the status of my ticket, okay? Phone issue, the status now should be pending. Is it pending? Yeah, it is right here. Approval status pending. Who did that? Flow did that. That means now my approver should have started the approval process. Let's sign in with my approver, Sarah. Sarah, where are you? Here's Sarah. Teams.microsoft.com. Now, if everything's good, this will work. It's a live demo, guys. Yup, it does. So here's Sarah. Sarah gets an adaptive card directly within the context of Microsoft Teams. And Sarah sees that there's a new ticket associated to her. She sees the title of the ticket, the description of the ticket. I can make this as elaborative as possible. And not just that, she can take a decision on the ticket right here, approved or rejected. I could even deep link directly to the ticket in Teams. You can do things like that, guys. I'm just trying to show you one demo right now. So I'll say, okay, I'll be good, and I'll say approved, and I will submit. And the moment Sarah does this, this card will close and say thank you, because that's the message that I gave in Teams. And if I quickly go back to my flow, you will note that my flow has gone ahead. The flow expression went to true because Sarah said approved, and the status of the ticket now should be approved. And if Reza goes back to Microsoft Teams, and if Reza clicks on the app, and this time looks at the phone issue, there you go. The ticket is approved. So guess what? Within a matter of seconds, I not only created an app, not seconds, but minutes. I not only created an app, but I also added a flow to drive an approval process around my tickets that are being created in the context of my Microsoft team. Extremely powerful. And to take it one step further, of course, I won't demo the whole thing right now, but to take it one step further, you can also search for Power Virtual Agents. This will give you the new Power Virtual Agents app within the context of Microsoft Teams. And right here, guys, you can start building chatbots. So I can even build a bot and deploy this bot to my team so users can interact with the bot. I already have a bot pre-created. This is for a different purpose, but I just want to show you what I could do with it. I can start talking to the bot. I can say hello right within Teams, and this is built using Power Virtual Agents. See, it says, hi Reza, how are you? It knows who is currently signed in. It's aware of which user is signed in. So I'm going to say, I need to check my expense status. This is a different system that I'm demoing right now, but I just want to show you what you could do with bots. Okay, what expense status information you want? I want all information. Okay, very nice. Enter your dollar amount. So I want all my expenses that are greater than $33. Why 33? No reason. I hit enter, and now it should go through, query my tables in my CDS environment, and boom, it just tells me all my expenses. And remember, I said deep linking. If I click on this, it will directly open the item in Teams if everything goes through well, and take me straight to that item in Teams. There you go. Boom. This is one of my demos in an upcoming session. So if you would like to see this, sign up. All right, so this is it. You can build bots, you can build flows, you can build apps. You can do everything right here for Project Oakdale, everything in the context of course, our lovely friend, Microsoft Teams. And that was the demo. And just to close out, some learning resources for you guys, and we will do Q&A. I'm sure you have questions in the chat window. The announcement for Project Oakdale is right here. The capabilities of that CDS is right here. The other thing is documentation. Always go to docs.microsoft.com. Don't Google, don't go to YouTube. Well, do that as well. I have a good playlist on Oakdale, but first start with the documentation. Nothing beats the documentation on docs.microsoft.com. And once again, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present today. If you would like to connect with me, these are my details. And thank you so much. And the floor is now open for questions.
We do have some questions in the chat, Reza.
Yes.
Let's have a look. Okay.
I see. Awesome demo. Awesome demo. Thank you. Thank you. And that was a live demo, by the way. This was a total live demo from scratch.
Yeah, I've got to say that went surprisingly well. Okay, what have we got?